We are following breaking news here on KCAL News, also streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. We are learning that the Inland Empire has been hit with an earthquake. The U.S. Geological Survey says at around 10:05 this morning, a 3.5 magnitude quake shook in the Ontario area. The epicenter was about 3 miles southeast of Ontario. Now, that initial quake was followed up about 30 minutes later with a preliminary 3.9 magnitude quake near that same area. Early reports say the shaking could be felt as far south as Corona and as far north as Fontana. Our Salmon Desk has calls out to various agencies in the area, but so far we can tell you no immediate reports of any injuries or major structural damage. I know that our assistant news director is out at the Ontario airport, and she reports that she felt the shaking strongly there as well. Right now, I want to turn to meteorologist Alex Biston with some details on what you have. Alex.
Hi, Rachel. You know what? I want to show you our earthquake tracker. This is, typically what we use and what we show when we have earthquake activity, seismic activity. You can see those red dots there. That's an indication of earthquakes that we've had over the last hour. And I want to try to zoom you in here. You can see just all those red dots flashing. So it looks like we've seen, we saw two relatively stronger ones, the 3.5 and the 3.9. But we are getting, of course, reports of lesser magnitude earthquakes too. We're seeing a few. I'm looking at my list here. One just after that 3.9, there was a 2.0, a 1.5, 1.0, 2.2. So the activity is continuing in the area, but of course that 3.5 and the 3.9, that's what rattled most of the area. People felt both of those earthquakes. And Rachel, you were saying people feeling the earthquake in different cities, in Fontana and Ontario. So a lot of parts of the IE feeling the earthquake this morning, seeing aftershocks as well. We've seen quite a few. I'm looking at my map here, my counter, and we're seeing probably about a dozen or so aftershocks. I also want to just kind of give you a little bit of context and a little bit of perspective. So we get a 5.0 magnitude or stronger. We get about 2.5 to 2.5 of those per year. 6.5 or stronger, that happens every about 4 years. So that is on average. Also giving you a little bit more perspective, the 3.5, 3.9, that's considered minor to light, so noticeable shaking. Of course, a lot of people writing it on Twitter to us, letting us know that they felt that. We get about 10,000 per year. The energy equivalent of that is about 33,000 pounds of explosive. So again, just giving you a little bit of perspective. Going to come back to this earthquake map here, Rachel. And I want to show you, and you can zoom in here. So Rancho Cucamonga, Fontana, Pomona probably felt this. We're getting a little bit closer to Ontario. That is where this earthquake was centered. And so since the initial earthquake at 10:05, the 3.9, that one struck at 10:34. So again, we're seeing this activity continue. A few aftershocks. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 aftershocks since that 3.9, Rachel.
All right, Alex, thank you so much for all those details. We know that a lot of people in the Inland Empire felt the shaking. I want to go now to Milko Milicic, who's on the phone right now. Milko, you live in Ontario. Tell me exactly kind of the area you're in and what exactly you felt. Milko, are you there? Do we have Milko with us? Milko? Okay, it looks like we lost Milko, but again, we know that people in the area, in the Ontario area, felt the shaking this morning. People as far south as Corona and as far north as Fontana, so you can see that the shaking was very widespread. To recap here, what we know according to the USGS is that around 10:05 this morning, a 3.5 magnitude quake shook in the Ontario area, the epicenter about 3 miles southeast of Ontario. About 30 minutes later, that was followed by a 3.9 magnitude quake in that same area. Again, right now we have calls out to various fire agencies, police agencies in the area to, ask if there's any damage or any kind of injuries that they've seen. So far, fortunately, no immediate reports of those things. We've been checking with Ontario Fire, San Bernardino County Fire, as well as police agencies out there. We are reaching out to Caltech to see if they are doing anything. No updates from Caltech just yet. We continue to just receive calls from people who are reporting that they felt the shaking. And do we have Milko back with us yet? Okay. We'll try to get Milko a little bit later. And if you are out there in the Inland Empire area and felt the shaking or have witnessed some, damage or anything like that, we want to hear from you. Please call us here at the KCAL newsroom. We will continue to update you as we learn more about these two quakes in the Inland Empire in the Ontario area. And as always, we will continue streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. For now, I'm Rachel Kim.